Hi guys, welcome to Scorched Earth Tarot. This is going to be a general reading for the sign of Pisces, Sun, Moon and Ascendant. If you're not resonating with the video, try checking out the videos for your Moon and Ascendant signs. And if you don't know what they are, there's a link in the description that will help you. Just have a look down there. Equally, if you would like a personal reading, I can be reached at the email address, which is also in the description box, or any of my social media links, which are also listed down there. It's Facebook and Instagram mostly at the moment. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for the support. I really, really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And I hope that you find something here for you. And if you'd consider subscribing, that would be awesome also. Right, I'm sorry for getting these out late, but as you can probably tell, I'm actually really quite ill at the moment, and 4 of my 5 children have also decided to be ill at various points, on and off. Not at the same time, obviously, because that would be too easy. Just one after the other. So, yeah, it's kind of played merry hell with my upload schedule. And I'm sorry about my jumper, except I'm not really sorry because I bought this from a charity shop yesterday for like 30p. And it's my new favourite thing, even though it's really ugly, because it's really warm and I feel like I need comforting right now. So, anyway, quite enough blabbling from me. Oh. Let's get you some cards. Can I have 3 cards for Pisces, please, for the month of December? 3 cards for Pisces. 3 cards for Pisces. I don't take cards that I've dropped. They have to jump out. If you've seen me before, you know how they like to jump out. 3 cards for Pisces, please. Alright. Well, I'm going to take that one. We've got the 9 of Wands there. That's fire energy. I think it's Sagittarius, that one particularly. It's a bit of a wounded energy, right? So 2 more for Pisces, please. Okay, that one's an Ace of Cups, like it. That's your energy, it's water energy. And 1 more for Pisces, please. Oh. The Knight of Pentacles. It's interesting, we've got no major arcana on the table. You usually get at least 1. But we will get to that. We've got the 3 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. That talks about working together with other people, often. What do I use to clarify? I've been using the Shadowscapes deck with everybody else, but yeah, like I've got this strange need to use the Crow Tarot for you, so I'm going to do that. Right, let's get some more cards to clarify and then we'll take it from there. Why is the 9 of Wands here for Pisces, please? Got the 6 of Swords. It's air energy. Libra, Gemini or Aquarius. There's the 9 of Wands here. We've got the Queen of Swords is flipped, but it didn't jump, so it's going back in. 9 of Wands. Alright. We've got the Sun and we've got the King of Wands, both cards of Leo. You've been having a lot of Leo going on in your readings recently, Pisces. Where's the Ace of Cups here, please? Ace of Cups here. Got the Star. That's a card of Aquarius. Interesting. I like the way this is shaping up, I have to say. So Ace of Cups here. Pisces. That's the one. We've got the King of Pentacles, another king, interestingly. And the Knight of Pentacles, what's coming up for Pisces in the month of December. Ace of Swords, more air energy. There's a lot of thinking going on this month, Pisces. and strength, more Leo energy. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the Eight of Pentacles that talks about working hard to master things. Did that come up for you last month? I think it might have done. Can't remember. Right. Excuse my ill. I'm soldiering on as best I can. I like to get these videos uploaded so that they're all up by the 1st, and I've singularly failed in my endeavour this month. But you are the last, not the least, but the last. So, give it my best shot. So the Nine of Wands is the first card that you have. Now, this dude here, he's all bandaged up, his head's bandaged, his arm's bandaged, and he's kind of hanging on to a wand for dear life. It's not quite the 10, and that's important, because when you get to the 10 of Wands, that talks about, you know, something reaching crunch point, and you coming to a point where you have to put whatever it is that's burdening you down for your own sanity, for self-preservation. But the 9 is the step before that, right? So for me, that comes to say that you have been wounded and you have been fighting, and whilst you would have quite liked to have put your wand down, you've known that you've needed to keep on a little bit more. I mean, take it as it resonates to you. It could be a project that you've been working on. It could be, you know, courses. It could be degrees. It could be, you know, your work project or something. It could be a relationship. You know, things have been hard, but you know that it's coming to the point where resolution is at hand. And it's about mustering up energy from somewhere down in your boots and pulling it up to just push on a little bit further. And it's clarified by 3 cards, 2 of which came out together, so I'll come to those in a second. The first one is the 6 of Swords. Now, this is air energy, like I said, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. And in its standard depiction, it's a woman and a child in a boat, and they're being, you know, moved away to safety from the choppy waters into calmer waters. So there's movement implied, generally, and that can be physical movement, but more often than not, because it's swords, I take it to mean that to be like a mental element to it. So you're moving away from something that's been giving you a lot of grief, you know, something that's been making you feel like that. It's an ending of sorts, except that the swords are still in the boat usually, and they're depicted here, you know, underneath all this water. It's taking the lessons and the experiences that you've learned through this process, you know, whatever this has been for you. And we're talking about recent past here with this. And flying off, you know, taking to the air and going somewhere where things are a little less difficult. With all of this stuff that you've learned going with you. And then we have these 2 cards here, and these are both cards of Leo, right? King of Wands and the Sun. And this is the masculine presentation of the fire suit, you know, the pinnacle of the fire suit. So it's very active, it's very dynamic, it's very go-getting. You know, it's going out and looking for things that you want. You know, perhaps you've been looking for a job, perhaps you've been doing all sorts of things. But it's interesting because it couldn't be further really from Piscean energy. Pisceans obviously is water, and it's very emotional, and it's almost quite dreamy in some respects, and it's very internal because water is internal. So fire is masculine and external. It's expansion of thoughts and passions and self quite often. You know, being at the top of its suit, there's movement. There's more movement implied here. And this is all in your recent past, right? And we've got the Sun. And a lot of people talk about the Sun as being the inner child and things like that, but I don't really see it that way. It's interesting, I always interpret the moon as the subconscious, right? Very internal. It's all those things that bubble away deep inside and sometimes drive us forwards without even knowing that we're responding or reacting or you know, any of those things by what's going on underneath. And so to that end, although I've never, I think in a YouTube video I've ever made yet, said this, we can then interpret the sun to be the external or the conscious even. And it is bright and glorious. You know, there's a notion here of you having bested some very difficult point in your life, and points where you would rather have just sat down and gone no further. Somewhere you've pulled out some immense strength, and what is the lion if not strong, and conquered something. Conquered adversity, conquered what it is that you set out to do. You've completed something, and not only did you do it, you did it beautifully. And your conscious expression now is of having taken what you've learned and coming out into the world with it. It's beautiful. The second card that you've got is the Ace of Cups. Now, this is often new love. I'll put it as plainly as I can. But that can be new love, or it can be a renewal of love. And it can be for someone or something, or for yourself. Quite often. It's an opportunity that's being handed, and it's an emotional opportunity because it's a cup, because you know, the cups are the vessels that hold the water. It's something quite emotional in it, and I'm seeing the mountains in the background, and it's like this is a reward for what it is that you've put yourself through, this journey that you've undertaken, that you've now completed. Your cup runneth over. You know, the mountains are in the background there, but we're not back there, we're here where this opportunity is. And it's clarified by a major arcana and court card. Right? So the star is the card of Aquarius in the major arcana, and it talks about hope, because in this card you are not the star, you are the crow following the star. You know? And I think that in your darkest hours you found some tremendous courage that's demonstrated here. Darkest hours here, you found courage to cling to hope, to keep following that star, to keep following your dream, to keep following what it was that made you pick up all of these ones in the first place, and create this burden for yourself. But there's tremendous healing energy in the star, and I'm drawn to the fact that, even though I'm not sure it is, these streams look like water here, and on the Ace of Cups, where your cup is running over, you've got more water here. It's like there's real abundance on the way for you, Pisces, and it's emotional abundance. And that's really important to a water sign, you know, to be doing something that they're emotionally invested in means that you can put your entire self into it. And then we've got the King of Pentacles. Now, that's earth energy, so that's Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. And this could be a person in your environment, male or female, it doesn't matter. But it's the pinnacle of the suit. Again, just as the King of Wands is the pinnacle of the suit. You know, there's no half-assed energy here with you, Pisces. And the King of Pentacles is a provider. You know, he's shown there with, you know, apples and blackberries and all sorts of cool things that crows like to eat all around the throne. But I see the star here again for you. Yeah. The Pentacle suit talks about resources, so that can be money, but that's pretty basic. You know, that's just That's just the currency that we as a society have chosen to, use for the exchange of services and goods and stuff. But its most basic resources can be emotional resources. There can be your time. There can be, all of these things. And resources are what keep roofs over your head. That's what keeps food in your stomach. To get to a king, this could indicate that you are about to get a really good job. That you've been perhaps guided to apply for. But it's very comfortable living, whatever it is. And it's right at the top there. It doesn't have to be a job. It can be a perspective of knowing that if you've got food in your cupboards and you've got a roof over your head, then actually you're incredibly wealthy. And I prefer to interpret the King of Pentacles that way, because if we go too far the other way about it being all fabulous wealth and luxuriant comfort and such, it starts to topple over into notions of status and your own internal worth being defined by how much money you have, and I entirely reject that as a premise. But this star here and here is guiding you towards some stability, real stability actually. And then we've got the Knight of Pentacles. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to pull another card for that. I just was interrupted in my thought and told that I should pull another card. So I'm going to do that. Right. It's the Star and the King of Pentacles here. It's the Star. Oh. I knew that was going to come out. I had the strangest feeling. So at the bottom of the deck, you've got the World. So what you've done in conquering whatever this is and exhibiting great strength and strength of character and really coming out on top of what you were doing is you've closed out a cycle. That's what the World talks about. It's the very last card in the Major Arcana. It starts with the Fool and it goes to the World. So you may have finished something that's taken up a great deal of your time. I mean, we're not talking like a couple of months. I mean, we're talking probably years here. In some way, you have finished something, whether that's a physical project that you could go, here it is, this is what I've done, or you've leveled up, all these experiences that you've had, that investment of time and energy that you've put into what that is, it's leveled you up. And we've got an end here, and then we've got a beginning here, which is great. Three of Cups, the victory wreath on the top there, that talks about having, conquered things as well, but it talks about celebrating with friends. Perhaps you've got a lot of friends and family around you who are celebrating your achievement. But then we've got the Lovers, and the Lovers talks about a choice. And I feel like this choice that you're making is directly related to the Ace of Cups. There's something new bubbling up for you, Pisces. And it's an opportunity. And you need to follow your star. Pisces are very strongly intuition-led. So if there's something that you want to do, and this could be a relationship, or this could be a job, or it could be, a new life path. It could be anything that you feel struck internally, to just follow up and see how you go with it. I think that's a good idea, because all of this brings you to the Lovers, which is a choice. It's the card of Gemini as well. Why is the Lovers here for Pisces, please? The Lovers here for Pisces. Oh, we've got two cards. We've got the Two of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. Now, I'm quite amused by that, because the next card of the main ones that you pulled is the Knight of Pentacles. The Two of Wands is fire energy, it's more fire energy, but it's quite internal, it's planning, you know. And it's quite interesting that it's come out underneath the Lovers, because that suggests that this opportunity, such as it is, and whatever it is going to... You're going to have a little think about it for a while. I'm quite surprised I haven't seen the Hermit here anywhere. But you're at a crossroads now. And I just don't think you can go wrong, whichever path you choose. Because whichever path you choose, it will be right for you. Because both paths lead to the world at the top, you know, that we've just had on the bottom of the deck. And then we've got the Knight of Pentacles. I'm not going to go into this too much because it's the next card. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But the Knight of Pentacles talks about slow movement forward in a methodical way. You know, it's not the flashiest of the knights in the tarot, but it is the one that is the most dependable. It's the one that will get the job done. Yeah. He's going to get there much more slowly than all the other knights, but he's holding something really precious, which actually from here also looks like a star. He's holding something really precious, and when it gets there, it will be intact. It will be, you know, unscathed in any way. It's a really solid energy, and it's an energy of building slowly. I mean, you've already got the King of Pentacles, and your star's guiding you towards that, but you are going to have to get there in some way, and the Knight of Pentacles is the card that I would expect to see that happen with. And there he is again, you know, holding up that precious, precious thing. What I'm trying to decide is whether this choice that you've got and this crossroads that you're sat at, whether this is the thing that you need to take your time over deciding. And I'm not sure it is that, because ultimately whichever way you go, it's going to be right for you. Or whether once you take this path, it is something that is going to be slow moving, just like the Knight. But it's something that's going to give you great emotional fulfillment in the long term. Now, the two cards that you've got to clarify that with the Ace of Swords and Strength. Now, the Ace of Swords talks about honesty and integrity and all that sort of thing, but it talks about really good communication as well. There's another laurel wreath on this card. They're everywhere. Yeah, more victory. And it talks about moving forwards in your truth, whatever that is for you. You know, there's more mountains in the background here, but it's real clarity of expression. It's about being able to really express yourself and your ideas and your thoughts and everything to other people in a way that can be understood and victoriously. And then we have strength. And strength usually, as well as being the card of Leo, says to me that it's not going to be an easy path. You know, you've developed a very strong character by what you're doing. You know what you can achieve, you know what you're capable of. And the road ahead of you is going to be slightly rocky, but that's how you want it, because that's where the lessons come from. If it was easy, then everybody would do it. And I don't think that this is what you're about, Pisces, because I think actually you've leveled up spectacularly recently. But the work doesn't stop there, and it shouldn't stop there, because you've so much more to learn and you've so much more to give, and it's a reciprocal process. You know, the more you learn, the more you can pass on to other people. I'm going to pull another card for that as well. But ultimately, whichever path you choose, it will be the right one. I have another card for Pisces, please. Ace of Swords and Strength. Ace of Swords and Strength. Take that. Oh, no. Right. Didn't get any out of that deck. So let's have a look at the Illuminati deck. See if that wants to talk to me anymore. although we've got the Ace of Cups there, I don't feel like this is particularly a relationship reading. The only way, really, that is clear to me that it would be a relationship reading is if it was a relationship with yourself, you know, how you understand yourself and how you move forwards in the world. But I actually think it's more outwardly than that. You know, if this is your sense of self-worth, then you know how precious you are and you're moving very carefully forwards, you know, not to be knocked or tainted by anything around you. But if this was, say, an employment or, you know, a general life, I think, it's saying you've done really, really well and there's more coming. Wait, there we go. Prince of Pentacles. Whoa. It's the Knight of Pentacles again. Right, that's 3 times that it's appeared on the table here now. And you saw how it leapt out. I can take that as confirmation of what I was just saying. So I feel like this is a general life and or slightly employment related. It's really important that you move forwards slowly. Well, not necessarily slowly, at a pace that doesn't have you missing details, right? Because the Knight of Pentacles doesn't miss anything. He's moving slow enough that he can take in everything around him as he gets here. And he's not going to drop this pentacle and then realise when he's 3 miles past it that he hasn't got it anymore, which is possibly what the Knight of Swords would do. This is taking in the detail of everything. Slow, methodical, fastidious with your approach to everything. I have another card for Pisces. Ooh. Temperance. Be patient with yourself as well. Like, cup that's just there, card that's just flipped there is the Ace of Cups. Yeah, there's good things come to those who wait. It's in the offing. It's really, really close. You're just going to have to be a little bit more patient yet. And then the Princess of Pentacles. Yeah, you're about to start off on a whole new adventure. But it's going to start slow. You know, and it's going to require you to pay attention to the little details. Because you will notice other things other people would miss. And that's what makes you perfect for this, for what this is. Yeah. I just feel like there's an aspect of divine guidance going on here as well, actually. And Temperance is the card of Sagittarius, so there might be a Sagittarius in the mix who's important. But I feel like it's a divine timing, divine guidance, kind of. Be patient, be fastidious, pay attention to the details, because ultimately those details are the things that are going to set you ahead of everybody else. Yeah. Right, I get some advice cards for you. See what we can help you with potentially. I have advice for Pisces, please, for December. Oh, you don't get any advice apparently. Right, I'll go back to this deck because this one seems very chatty. Some advice for Pisces, please. Oh my God, almost a little too chatty. Right, so these all turned over. Queen of Cups. It's the second time I've seen the Queen of Cups. Got the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck again. Yeah, like inspired levels of communication this month, Pisces. That's beautiful. We've got the Ace of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, and the Princess of Cups, which is the Page of Cups, right? The The Ace of Pentacles is the second ace that we've got on the table now. This is a solid new start. You know, this is an opportunity that's being offered to you, and the way that is being held there up in the sky, that looks like a star to me as well. Right? Follow your gut, follow your instinct, follow what makes you emotionally happy, because that is leading you very nicely to an opportunity which could be quite lucrative to you, because we've got the Five of Pentacles, which that way around talks about poverty and lack, and this way around talks about coming out of that. I mean, maybe you've been going through a kind of a period of your life where, you know, things have been a bit difficult, they've been a bit tricky, and that can be financial lack, but it can also talk about emotional lack. It can talk of, you know, a lack of any kind of resources that you need to move forwards, but you're coming out of that energy. And then we've got the Princess of Cups, which is the Page of Cups in the Standard Tarot, and for me is a card of Pisces. Absolutely. It's often a messenger, but I really feel like it's a confirmation of what I was saying before. Trust you, trust you. There's a little fish jumping out of this cup, you know, and the page is staring at the fish, and, you know, your Pisces, your fish. Pay attention to your fish, pay attention to your feelings, pay attention to your emotions, and pay attention to those little things that draw you in a particular direction, because you are being guided right now to a particular opportunity. Shit, no, it's like we've got 3 aces. Wow, Pisces. I was just talking nonsense. You've got the Ace of Cups, you've got the Ace of Swords twice, and you've got the Ace of Pentacles. The only thing that's missing is the Ace of Wands, and do you even need the Ace of Wands? Because you are rocking the King of Wands, who's got an ace by his side already. Like, that's absolutely phenomenal. I love it. Right, I'm going to leave it there, Pisces. As ever, if you've made it this far and this resonates with you in any way, I'd love it if you'd like the video. Just so that I know, just constructive feedback, you know, that kind of thing. And if you haven't subscribed and you'd like to, I'd love to have you aboard, so please feel free. And I will see you in health willing. I will see you in probably about a week for the December mid-months. Okay, take care.